Hey there, fantasy owners. LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the watch or listen no matter how you're streaming the episode. Today's our Week 12 Weekend Ads episode, so we're going to break down this weekend schedule, try and find you the advantages, and suggest players to hopefully help strengthen your roster as you make the final push for this week's fantasy win, hopefully. Some things to note. Typical weekend, Friday's a light night, 4 games, Saturday 12 games, and Sunday 5 games. So we'll focus mainly on Friday and Sunday as those are the lightest nights. We will mention players that play on Saturday that get in 2 games this weekend. That way you can get a little bit of an advantage based on a man games played situation. We will cover Anaheim and Pittsburgh first as they play Friday only this weekend. Then we'll cover the Islanders and Rangers as they play Sunday only this weekend. Then we'll cover teams that play both Friday and Sunday, so you get both light nights. Then Friday and Saturday teams, and finish with teams that play Saturday and Sunday. So basically we'll get right into it. Some defensemen that play Friday only this weekend. From Anaheim, look at Cam Fowler, owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top pairing, top power play unit there. And he has 2 points the last 4 games. Both of those points being on the power play. 6 shots on goal and 4 blocks in those 4 games. So he's not the sexiest pick, but being probably the best D-man on Anaheim this year fantasy-wise, might be a decent streaming option for you on a light night. Another one in Anaheim's John Klingberg. He's owned in 44% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 5 games with 6 blocks in those 5 games. It has been an ugly year for him, but you can't deny he does have some talent. He don't just fall off the face of the earth. Not saying keep him on your roster long term because it's been a pretty ugly season, but for a light night, you might be able to catch lightning on a bottle and might get some value out of him. Over in Pittsburgh, look at Pierre-Olivier Joseph, 0% owned, available everywhere. Plays on that third pairing, second power play unit there, and he has 2 points the last 5 games, so just under half point per game. 8 shots on goal, 6 hits, and 4 blocks in those 5 games. So he does get some PP time. He does contribute a little bit in every category. But with him, it would need to be a real deep league before you think about streaming him, as there's probably some better options available ahead of him. Another one in Pittsburgh's Brian Dumoulin, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second pairing, and he's put up 4 points the last 10 games, so not bad, more than what you're used to out of Dumoulin. 14 hits and 18 blocks in those 10 games. So for him, the value is in the hits and blocks department. Any offense should be considered just a bonus there. But in certain formats, he could be valuable as a streamer on a pretty light Friday. Now some forwards that play Friday only. Start off in Anaheim again. Look at Jacob Silfverberg. Listed as a right winger, 0% owned. Playing on the second line there right now. And he has 3 points the last 5 games with 8 shots on goal. He is in the top 6 and in a real deep league because he is a down year, not getting any power play time or very limited power play time. Might be able to squeeze some value out of him as a streamer. Another one in Anaheim's Ryan Strome, listed as a center, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on that second line, second power play unit, and he has 4 points the last 5 games with 10 shots on goal. He is streaky, but pretty decent of late. With that, and it being a pretty light Friday, might be an okay streaming option. Another one in Anaheim's Mason McTavish, listed as center left winger, owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues. Centering that third line, up on the top power play unit there. And he has 6 points the last 5 games, so over a point per game there. 13 shots on goal and 3 blocks. He can be streaky, but outside of Zegras and Terry, he is the best offensive player on Anaheim's roster there, so you might be able to get some value out of him. Another one in Anaheim's Frank Vetrano, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues. Playing third line on that second power play unit there. And he has 5 points the last 5 games, so point per game over the last couple of weeks. 14 shots on goal, 6 hits. He's been better of late. It's been kind of a rough season for him. But on a light night, you might, in a deeper league, might be able to get some value out of him. Going over to Pittsburgh, look at Brian Rust, listed as a right winger, owned in 61% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there, and he has 11 points the last 9 games with 21 shots on goal. Excuse me, for him, after an absolute horrid start, he's really been pretty good the last 3-4 weeks here, kind of back to his old self. So if he is available, should be a fairly good streamer for you on a very light Friday. Another one in Pittsburgh's Jason Zucker, listed as a left winger, owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second line, second power play unit. And he's put up 6 points his last 7 games, so damn near a point per game. 12 shots on goal in those 7 games and 20 hits. So he can be streaky, and so with that is a little bit risky. He does throw the body around a fair bit if hits are counted in your league. But in some deeper leagues, you might be able to squeeze some value out of him. Before we go into the next segment, do want to ask you to subscribe, as we're really trying to grow this channel. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes. Really do hope it's helping you out in your leagues there. And we'll move along to some defensemen that play Sunday only. From the Islanders, look at Alexander Romanov, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second pairing. He's put up 5 points the last 8 games with 17 hits and 14 blocks. As mentioned with Dumoulin there, his value really is in the hits and blocks department. He is chipping in some offense of late here. Don't count on that. Stream them if hits and blocks are counted in your league, in a Cats league. And if you get any offense, just consider it a bonus. And you might be able to get some surprising value out of them. From the Rangers, look at Keandre Miller, owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second pairing. And he has 8 points the last 9 games. Pretty damn good production there. 27 hits and 12 blocks. He's been decent all around, especially of late. And with that, on a light Sunday there, you should be able to get some value out of him. Another one from the Rangers is Ryan Lindgren, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing up on that top pairing. And he's put up 3 points the last 4 games. Of course, you're not going to get that offense out of Lindgren very often. But in those 4 games, he's also been +7 and had 9 blocks. So with that, in a real deep Cats league, you should be able to get some value out of him. Might surprise you with a little bit of offense, but overall you're looking more at the plus-minus blocks. He does throw a few hits, so in a real deep Cats league is where you might find some value streaming him. Moving along to some forwards that play Sunday only. Look at Anders Lee, listed as a left winger, owned in 60% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second line top power play unit there. And he's put up 5 points the last 5 games with 19 shots on goal, +6 and 7 blocks. So he seems to be out of the slump he was in. He was really hot to start, then he got really cold there. Now he seems to be back on the upward trend. And with that, hopefully he should be a fairly decent streamer for you on Sunday. Another one from the Islanders is Anthony Beauvillier, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. And he's put up 5 points the last 5 games with 12 shots on goal. He is really hot or cold, so with that, there definitely is some risk. So you're going to leave him for real deep leagues, as there's probably some better options ahead of him. But if you're in a real deep league and in a pinch, is an option for you on Sunday there. From the Rangers, look at Kaapo Kakko, listed as a right winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. He's put up 6 points the last 6 games with 9 shots on goal. He's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. He's been frustrating last couple of years anyways, where you expected more out of him. But he is in the top 6, and he's playing well of late. You might be able to get some value out of him on a light Sunday there. Another one from the Rangers is Alexei Alex Lafreniere, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. He's put up 4 points the last 5 games with 12 hits. He's been okay of late, and in a real deep Cats league, because he does throw the body around a bit more than Kako, little less offense of late, but that kind of comes and goes with both of them. You might be able to get some value out of him. Next one is Philip Chittle, listed as center right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. Plays second line, second power play unit, and he has 5 points his last 6 games with 14 shots on goal and 6 blocks. He too has also been pretty good of late and should get some value out of him on a light Sunday there. Now we'll move along to some defensemen that play both Friday and Sunday, so you're going to get both light nights out of these players. First one's Jaccob Slavin from Carolina, owned in 30% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing. He's put up 3 points the last 3 games with 5 blocks in there. He gets a nice number of blocks. His offense is obviously down from last year, but do remember, he was a 40-plus point defenseman last year. Been kind of rough offensively for him this year. Maybe these last few games is a little bit of a sign of him getting back into form. Hard to say, it's a small sample size. But with getting both light nights, might be a streaming option for you. Another one from Carolina is Brady Shea, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second pairing there. And he's put up 7 points the last 9 games there, plus 4, 24 shots on goal. He has been streaky, so there is some risk involved, but you do get some of the other Cats in plus minus shots on goal, etc. So you might be able to get some value with getting both light nights there. Next one is Brendan Smith over in Jersey, 0% owned, so basically available, well, is available everywhere. Plays on that second pairing, and he has 2 points the last 3 games with 6 shots on goal, 8 hits, and 12 blocks. Hits and blocks is where the value is with him. So in a real deep Cat league, you might be able to squint and see some value out of him. Needs to be a real deep league. Don't touch him unless it's a real deep league. There's probably some better options, but is an option in a real deep Cats league there. Going over to Seattle, look at Vince Dunn, owned in 48% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, second power play unit there. And he's put up 2 points the last 3 games. And in those 3 games, he's a plus 6 shots on goal, 5 hits, and 4 blocks. He is decent in most Cats. He has been kind of up and down with his offense. But in a Cats league, you might be able to stream him and get some decent value out of him. Another one in Seattle's Adam Larson, owned in 33% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing there. And he's put up 5 points his last 7 games. Not known for his offense, but pretty good of late. 12 shots on goal, 20 hits, and 10 blocks in those 7 games there. So the value is in the hits and blocks. He will chip in offensively, not very regularly, but will chip in some offense there. So in a Cats league, both light nights is where you might be able to get some value. Last one from Seattle's Will Borgen, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, only plays on the third pairing there, has 4 points the last 6 games, and in those 6 games he's plus 4, has 20 hits in those 6 games and 9 blocks. He has good hit and blocks numbers. His offense before this last little streak is pretty much nil, so don't count on the offense there. But in a real deep Cats league is where you might be able to get some value out of him. Moving along to some forwards that play both Friday and Sunday. Start off in Carolina again. Look at Teuvo Teravainen, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 61% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second line, top power play unit there. He's put up 4 points the last 5 games there. 3 of those 4 points have been on the power play, and 11 shots on goal in those 5 games. Has been a down year, there's no denying it for him, but of late he's been better. Getting both light nights, you might be able to get some decent value as a streamer out of him. Another one in Carolina is Seth Jarvis, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 29% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit there. He's put up 8 points the last 12 games, so not bad offense. 21 shots on goal and 6 blocks. He has decent offense, and with getting both light nights, you might be able to get some value out of him there. Another one in Carolina is Jordan Staal, listed as a center, owned in 12% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line there. Currently has 7 points in a 4-game point streak, kind of reeling back the clock a little bit there. 11 hits in those 4 games, so throwing the body around too. He's on a hot streak, so in a deeper scoring league or even a deep cats league, you might be able to get some value out of him this weekend. Next one is Jesper Fast, listed as a right winger, 0% owned, playing on that third line there, and like Stahl's line mate, that third line's kind of reeling right now. He has 5 points in a 4-game point streak, plus 6 in those 4 games and 3 blocks. He's also on a hot streak, so in a deep league, could be a fairly solid option for you this weekend. Another one in Carolina is Stefan Noesen, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, playing fourth line on that second power play unit though, and he's put up 5 points the last 6 games, plus 4 in those 6 games, 2 of those points being on the power play, 13 hits and 3 blocks. He's been pretty solid for a while now. Kind of scares me a little bit, only getting fourth line minutes, sometimes third line minutes, but does get some PP time. And in your deeper leagues, you might be able to squint and get some value out of him there. Going over to Florida, look at Carter Verhaeghe, listed as a left winger, owned in 62% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top line, second power play unit there, and he has 4 points the last 5 games with 9 shots on goal and is a +3. He's been fairly decent throughout the year with or without Barkov in the lineup, so don't be scared if Barkov is still out. You should still get some okay value out of him. Another one in Florida is Eetu Listerainen, listed as center left winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there, and he has 3 points the last 4 games with 7 shots on goal. He's been okay of late. He can be a little bit streaky, but in a deeper league, should get some value out of him as a streamer. Another Stahl. Look at Eric Stahl from Florida, listed as a center, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit there. And he's put up 8 points the last 12 games. Talk about winding back the clock there. 29 shots on goal and 8 blocks. He's really been coming out of the woodwork of late. He's been showing some value there, scoring in a third line role. So in a deeper league, might be worth a shot streaming this weekend. Going over to Jersey, look at Tomas Tatar, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing the top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 3 points in the last 2 games, not a lot of runway, 6 shots on goal. But with that, he's either hot or cold. So you're either going to love him or going to hate him there. Right, the last couple of games, you're going to love him. He might toss you a bagel. So I'd leave him for real deep leagues only because he's a real hit or miss streamer. But if you're in a pinch and in a real deep league, might bring you some value. Going over to Seattle, look at Jared McCann, listed as center left winger, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit. He's potted 9 goals the last 12 games. That's an S-load of goals in over a 12-game span there. 25 shots on goal and 13 hits. He is scoring a bunch of goals of late, and no reason why it should stop. So come this weekend, especially in a scoring league, if goals are weighted more, you definitely should get some value out of him. Another one in Seattle's Matty Beniers, listed as a center, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 10 points the last 12 games with 29 shots on goal, 19 hits, and 9 blocks. You get a bit of everything with him. Offense is a little bit spurty. It's either kind of a multi-point game or a single-point game there. But with that, in a Cats League especially, you should be able to get some value out of him. Another one in Seattle's Andre Burakovsky, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 49% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit there. And he's put up 8 points his last 12 games with 24 shots on goal. That's cooling off a little bit for him. Pretty much over the year, he's been right around the point per game mark. So chances are you should get some value out of him if you decide to stream him this weekend. Now some Demon that play both Friday and Saturday. Over in Edmonton, look at Evan Bouchard, owned in 65% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, second power play unit there. He's put up 3 points the last 6 games, so half point per game, not bad, not great. 12 shots on goal, 6 hits, and 6 blocks. He's been not bad, not great of late, but should be an okay streamer with getting 2 games out of him this weekend. Over in Nashville, look at Matthias Ekholm, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit. He's put up 2 points the last 3 games. Not a lot of runway, but in those 3 games, he's also had 11 shots on goal, 4 hits, and 4 blocks. He does get a nice amount of shots on goal, hits, and blocks there. The offense has fallen way off from a few years ago there, but if he does get you some, deeper Cats League is where the value is going to be, and if he gets you some offense there, just consider it a bonus. Another one from Nashville is Alexander Carrier, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing on that second pairing there. He's put up 3 points the last 5 games, so a little over half point per game with 6 blocks. You get a little bit here and there with him. He's not going to wow you in any category, not going to really kill you in any category. So in a real deep Cats League, that's where you might find some value out of him. Now some forwards that play both Friday and Saturday. From Edmonton, look at Jesse Puljujarvi, listed as a right winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top line, second power play unit there. He's put up 2 points the last 3 games. Not a lot of runway again there, but 4 shots on goal, 4 hits. Every once in a while, he gives you a glimmer of hope, and he's up on McDavid's line. 2 points the last 3 games. Still leaving him for a real deep league, but you might be able to get some value out of him. Another one in Edmonton, take a peek at, Warren Foegele, listed as a left winger, owned in 0% of Yahoo leagues, but playing on the second line there, and he has 2 points the last 2 games, points in back-to-back games, 4 shots on goal, 4 hits. He does have a decent hit total, and he is up with Draisaitl right now, so you might be able to squeeze some value out of him, but again, like Puljujarvi, you're leaving it for a real deep league there. Going over to Nashville, look at Thomas Novak, listed as a center, 0% owned, playing on the top line, top power play unit there, and he has 3 points in a 3-game point streak with 6 shots on goal. He is up on the top line for now. Right after the last game, he did get sent down. Read it was more of a paperwork thing, so he should be called up right away coming out of the Christmas break. But check to make sure he is up with the big club, and with that, playing on the top line, top power play unit, might be able to get some sneaky value out of him. Another one is Nino Niederreiter, listed as a left winger, owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there, and he has 4 points in a 4-game point streak there with 9 shots on goal. Him this year, he's been kind of hot or cold. Started out really damn hot. Then he kind of cooled off. Now he's hot again. So with that, you might be able to get some value out of him this weekend. Another one in Nashville to take a peek at is Cody Glass, listed as center right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. And he's put up 4 points in the midst of a 3-game point streak there. Second line's doing pretty good with 3 hits in there. He is really streaky, but he is on a little bit of a roll right now, so in your real deep leagues, it's where you might be able to snag him and get a little bit of value. Another one in Nashville is Ryan Johansson, listed as a center, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third line, up on the top power play unit. He's put up 2 points the last 3 games, again, not a lot of runway there. 5 shots on goal, 3 blocks. He is definitely down from last year, but being on that top power play unit, he's doing not too bad the last week, almost a week here, so you might be able to squeeze some value out of him come this weekend. Now some defensemen that play both Saturday and Sunday. Look at Seth Jones over in Chicago, down to 55% owned, playing top pairing, top power play unit. He's put up 4 points the last 10 games, so under half point per game, but close. In those 10 games, he's had 31 shots on goal, 10 hits, and 27 blocks. He does get a nice amount of blocks, shots on goal. Hits is okay, not great, not bad. He does have offensive talent, though. It's just a matter of if he's going to come out of it. It's been a really poor season in Chicago there, but with his talent, getting a couple games this weekend, you might be able to get some value out of him. Another one in Chicago to look at is Ian Mitchell. 0% owned, so available everywhere there, folks. Playing on the third pairing, second power play unit. He's put up 2 points the last 3 games with 6 blocks. He's not the strongest option, but he does get some PP time, getting a couple points the last 3 games. In a real deep league, you might be able to get some value out of him there. Over in San Jose, look at Matt Benning. Owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit there. And he has 5 points the last 8 games with 18 hits and 18 blocks. He gets his hits and blocks, and he's chipping in a bit of offense, getting a little bit of PP time. So you might be able to squeeze some value getting a couple games out of him. Another one in San Jose is Scott Harrington. Owned in 0% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third pairing there. Top pairing there. He has 4 points the last 6 games with 11 blocks. He's not the strongest option, but he is paired with Carlson. With that, he's getting a little bit of production of late. So in a real deep league, you might be able to get some value out of him there. Now some forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Buffalo. Look at Dylan Cozens, listed as a center, owned in 58% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, top power play unit there. And he has 16 points his last 12 games with 31 shots on goal. He's been hot, slowed down a little bit of late. I think he's pointless in the last 2 or 3 games before the break there. But you can't deny what he's done offensively the last month and a half here. So if he is available, should be a fairly solid streamer for you. Another one in Buffalo to consider is Jack Quinn, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. He's been pointless the last 3, but he put up 8 points over the previous 8 games there. So overall, he has okay offense, and he should be an okay streamer this weekend. Going over to Chicago, look at Tyler Johnson, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit. He has 8 points in 10 games played this season. Matter of his health. If he's been in the lineup, he's been fairly good for you, but he's missed a lot of time already this year. So if he is healthy come this weekend, should be able to get some value out of him. Another one in Chicago is Max Domi, listed as center, left wing, and right wing. Owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 9 points over the last 11 games with 30 shots on goal. He is streaky, but should be an okay streamer come this weekend, getting a couple of games. Hopefully it can work out for you there. Another one in Chicago is Jonathan Taves, listed as a center, owned in 13% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line up on the top power play unit there. He's put up 6 points the last 6 games with 16 shots on goal and 3 blocks. He has been streaky this year, but he does win a lot of face-offs. Gets you an okay amount of blocks, okay shots on goal. His offense is really up and down, so it makes it a little bit risky. But overall, you might be able to get some value out of him in certain formats there. Going over to Ottawa, look at Shane Pinto, listed as a center, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. He's put up 5 points the last 7 games with 14 shots on goal and 8 hits. He's been hot and cold this year. He had one heck of a goal streak earlier on, then he got cold, hot again, cold again. He's hot right now. He's in the top 6, so getting a couple of games this weekend, you might be able to get some value out of him. Over in San Jose, look at Tomas Hertl, listed as a center, owned in 65% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. He has 11 points the last 9 games with 38 shots on goal, 12 hits, and 4 blocks. He's good all around and should be a fairly good streamer for you getting a couple of games this weekend. Another one in San Jose is Logan Couture, listed as a center, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit there, and he has 9 points the last 12 games with 28 shots on goal, 19 hits, 13 blocks. If you're in a Cats league, he should be a very good streamer for you this weekend if he's available, and should be able to get some really good value out of him. And the last one's Alex Barabanov, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 5 points the last 6 games with 11 shots on goal and 4 blocks. He really has been pretty decent of late. Playing with Hertl on that top line, should be an okay streamer, especially in deeper leagues. That's it for today's episode. Hope you did enjoy it. If you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, remember to hit that heart, hit follow, hit subscribe, depending what platform you're watching it on. We'll be out in a bit with our Week 13 strategy episode, and we'll talk to you soon, and good luck, fantasy owners.